Welcome everybody. My name is Maya Kamala and I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher in training. And today is practice class number 18 of 20 that I'm doing as part of fulfilling my teacher training requirements. And it's been a very beautiful experience so far. Today's Kriya is called Kriya for a healthy mental balance. And it probably goes without saying that it's very difficult to walk around the world as we know it and feel balanced in our mind or in our body or in our heart, in our spirit, however you want to think about it. It's a challenge because we live in an imbalanced world. And so sometimes you need to do a little bit of extra to take care of yourself and make sure that you can continue moving through the world with some measure of balance, some measure of self-compassion, some measure of compassion towards others. That, after all, is what balance is. Although we often forget it. That's what balance ultimately comes down to. Self-love, self-compassion, and love for others. So today's practice is going to be all about activating and balancing out the energy of the body, and by extension, the energy of the mind. And it's a challenging practice, but there'll be lots of modifications. And grab a block or two if you have them. You may or may not need these, but they're good to have on the side today. And I'm just going to begin by saying a few words about Kundalini Yoga more generally. So Kundalini Yoga has been around for thousands of years. It originated in North India, in the Punjab, and people still practice it today for very good reasons. It's a very, very powerful healing technology. Western science is still catching up to all the knowledge and wisdom of ancient yogic philosophy and science. We're still practicing it today for a reason. And so Kundalini itself can be understood as the dormant energy within each and every one of us, or the untapped potential. And the job of Kundalini Yoga is to activate that from within, sort of inner activism, and circulate that energy to where it's most needed in our body and in our mind. And that's different for each and every one of us. But the energy, once activated, knows where to go, generally speaking. So I welcome you here today, and we're going to begin now. One more thing is that Kundalini Yoga, while not a religious practice, is a spiritual one, just like all other yoga, even if it's often been stripped of that here in the West. And this is perhaps most evident in the mantras that we use in Kundalini Yoga. So many of these, there's a strong Sikh influence. Many of the mantras we use are in the sacred Sikh language of Gurmukhi. And I'll be walking us through that whenever we encounter a mantra, what that means and what that's about. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to invite you to make sure you're sitting comfortably. I have my hips hiked up just a little bit on a folded blanket here. Helps to keep the spine straight. Feel free to cross or uncross your legs, switching the cross of the legs at any point in time to be more comfortable. If this is not a comfortable position, another position you can sit in is rock pose, which basically amounts to sitting on your heels, like so. This is another great position for keeping the spine straight. You can also make rock pose more comfortable by propping the folded blanket under your heels or rolling it up and putting it between your legs and using it as a little stool. You can even do the stool thing with a little block, like so. It works quite nicely. So if you ever need to switch up at any point, you can do that as well. And sitting in a chair is also an option. You can grab a chair, plant your feet firmly on the ground, and sit with a straight spine at any point. You might want to tuck your chin slightly as well. Make sure that your neck and your head are in line with the rest of your spine. Okay, so now we're going to land here, leaving everything that's outside just for an hour now. I know it's a tall order, but it will be rewarding and you deserve it. So thank you for being here. We're going to land here with a little bit of breath work, a little bit of segmented breathing now. So I'm going to invite you to sit up tall, sit up straight, tuck your chin. Inhale very deeply now through your nose. Exhale all the air out through the nose. Bring your navel towards your spine to push the last of the air out. And as you're ready now, we're going to inhale in 8 sniffs. And then exhale in 8 sniffs. And continue like this. Eyes are closed. 8 sniffs in and 8 sniffs out. Segmented breathing. We're here for a little over 2 minutes now. You're doing great. This is a very powerful breath that stimulates the vagus nerve and relaxes the entire nervous system. At the same time as it calms us, though, it also energizes us subtly. At your own pace, keep going. If at any point during this breath or during the practice you feel dizzy or lightheaded, please pause and return to it as you feel ready. You can always revert to long and deep breathing through the nose. Finish your last cycle now. And then as you're ready, inhale deeply through the nose and hold. Hold, hold, hold. And exhale, release. Great job. Now you might find that even from this couple of minutes of this one breathing exercise, you feel a very drastic shift in your energy. Or not. Either way, it's totally normal. And either way, you're in the right place at the right time. Remain here just for a moment, observing, sensing into where you're at. And we're going to tune in now to today's practice with the mantra Om Namo Gurudev Namo. This can be translated to mean, I bow to the teacher within, I call on my highest consciousness. I love this mantra because it's all about calling ourselves to presence before we begin any practice. It's all about ultimately acknowledging the divine wisdom and the profound intuition within each and every one of us, and acknowledging the fact that there's no one human being or one guru who is more inherently equipped to access that deep intuition, that deep knowing, and the authority that goes along with it. So, what better way to begin? I'm going to invite you to rub your palms together now. Bring your thumbs to your sternum and close your eyes, tucking your chin slightly. Now imagine there's a ball of white light at the base of your spine, and as you inhale now, Draw that light up to the very, very top of your head, the crown of your head. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale deeply again. Exhale. And on the third inhale, we'll chant Om Namo Gurudev Namo 3 times. Inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply now, holding the breath in, keeping your palms at your heart center, and set your intention for today's practice, whatever that means to you. It could be an emotion, a sensation, a word, whatever that means to you. Land on that now. And as you're ready, exhale and release. Release your hands back down. Okay. We're going to, before we begin the Kriya for today, we're going to start by doing a few warm-up exercises. So the first one we're going to do is, if you've done other types of yoga, you've probably come across cat-cow, and that's what we're doing now. So I'm going to invite you to come onto your hands and knees. And the wrists are underneath your shoulders, while your knees are underneath your hip bones. And open your fingers as widely as possible to take pressure off the wrists. I recommend that for sure. And if your wrists are extra fussy like mine, from too much computer time, you might even want to come up onto your fists. That's always an option as well. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to inhale as we drop the belly, look up, the chin comes slightly upwards, and then exhale as we round the spine towards the ceiling. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round the spine. And we're here for a minute now. Go at your very own pace. Could be rapid, could be slow. And I invite you to close your eyes as well while we're doing this, to lock in that focus and that energy. You're doing great. As you're ready, come to straight spine again now, and inhale, hold the breath in. Exhale, release everything. From here, we're going to come back into seated. I recommend propping your hips up again on a blanket. And we're going to open the legs out as wide as we comfortably can. So in as wide a V as possible. This is what's known as spread stretch, and it's one of my very favorites. I personally can never get enough of this stretch. It's so great for the loosening up the hips, the thighs, the buttocks, the lower back. So we're going to inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, come down to the left side. So that might mean shin, that might mean ankle, that might mean toes, whatever it means for you. Reach for that. And then inhaling again up to the center and exhaling down to the right side this time. And we're here now for a minute, continuing at your own pace. You're doing great. Such a good stretch here, not only for the lower body, but also for the shoulder blades. As you're ready, come to center, inhale deeply and hold. And exhale down, both hands this time at the same time. Grabbing your toes, your ankles, or your shins. And remain here now for a moment. Not forcing through pain, only going down as comfortably as you can, as far as you can comfortably. Take a deep breath here. And exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale. Take another last deep breath. And as you exhale, walk your hands slowly up your legs back to a straight spine position. You might want to give your shoulders a little circle. Okay, great job. Now for our last warm-up, we're going to do some neck rolls. So if you have cervical issues in your neck or your upper spine or any kind of fussiness there, you might want to skip the backward roll that I'm going to demonstrate and just do semicircles instead. So what that would look like is moving to the left on the inhale, exhale to the right. Inhale, exhale. Otherwise, we're going to do full circles. So I'll invite you to bring your right ear to your right shoulder. As you inhale, roll the head back slowly and carefully. As you exhale forward, we're going to do 5 of these at your own pace now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you've completed 5, bring your head to a straight position again, just to recalibrate for a moment. And then as you're ready, bring your left ear to your left shoulder, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So exhaling as you roll back. Inhaling as you roll back. Exhaling as you roll forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when you're finished 5, bring your head to a straight position once again and inhale deeply through the nose, holding the breath in. Hold, hold, hold. And exhale, release. The pausing and holding of breath is what we do to integrate the effects of any given exercise. So it helps to basically absorb the nutrients of any given exercise, any given part of the practice. All right, so without further ado, now we're going to begin the Kriya itself, Kriya for a healthy mental balance. Now, the first exercise in this Kriya is bow pose, and it comes along with a breath. Now, before we get into the pose itself, I'm going to show you this breath so that it's not as difficult to figure out and to crane your neck to look at the screen while I'm showing you. So the breath is breath of the lion, or lion's breath. Now, to do this, you need to leave all your inhibitions behind you and open your mouth and stick your tongue out as far out as it will go. And then the idea here is to inhale deeply through the mouth and exhale deeply through the mouth, almost like you're pretending you're a lion roaring with your breath. So it's going to look something like this. I didn't tell you it wouldn't look silly, but it's really, really good for you. It's a very powerful detoxifying breath, and it feels like it too. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to invite you to come onto your back, onto your stomach, sorry, and come down gently and carefully, easing your way down to your stomach. Now, this pose, bow pose, is not necessarily accessible to everyone. And even if it's accessible to you some days, it might not be accessible to you every day. Okay? So right now, I'm in Sphinx pose. I'm lying on my stomach and my forearms are on the ground. And I'm stable here on my forearms. And my chest is slightly lifted. My head is looking, my face is looking, my eyes are looking forward. This is Sphinx pose. This gives a nice backward bend, a little mild backward bend. And you might not want to go further than this today for this exercise. This might be enough for you. And usually I show the full expression of an exercise, of a pose first. Today I'm just going to show you gradually the different stages of what you can do. So you might remain here. And we're going to begin not with lion's breath, but with long and deep breathing through the nose. So it's going to be here in Sphinx. Alternatively, you might go a little further and keep your knees bent at the same time. This very subtly increases the curve, the backward bend of the back. So you might stay here and do the same thing, breathing deeply. If you're ready to go for full bow pose today, what we're going to do is come down off our forearms, grab one ankle with the right hand or the left, whichever feels better to do first, and then swing your other arm around and grab the other ankle. And then the idea here is to lift your head and chest and lift your thighs off the ground all at once. And this is bow pose. And so if this is accessible to you today, I'll invite you to remain here and inhale long and deep through the nose, inhaling to the count of 4 and exhaling to the count of 4. And at my cue, in about a minute, we'll be switching to lion's breath. So doing your very best now in this pose. And if you need to come out of it, very, very slowly let go of one ankle and then very slowly let go of the second ankle. Remain lying there on your back, on your stomach, for just a moment. And then you might come back up to Sphinx and do Sphinx pose instead if necessary. You've got to be very careful with the lower back, with these backward bends. If it's not comfortable, you might end up compressing your lower back a little bit, and no one wants that. So we need to approach these poses carefully. Okay, you're doing great. Inhaling deeply through the nose, exhaling deeply through the nose. We're here for just another 15 seconds now. Okay, as you're ready now, switching, keeping in position and switching the breath. We're going to stick the tongue out and inhale through the mouth only. So it's going to look like sounds like a lion's breath. That's why it's called lion's breath. So inhaling deeply in and out through the mouth. Eyes are closed here if you're comfortable. And there's no need to rush lion's breath. You can breathe long and deep just as you were doing in the previous breath, but this time through the mouth like a lion. We're here just another 15 seconds. You're doing great. Okay, as you're ready now, inhale deeply through the nose, exhale deeply through the nose, and very, very slowly release one ankle and then the other, and come to laying flat on your stomach, using your hands as a pillow. So we're recalibrating here, just coming to relax for a moment after that rather intense back bend. Just remaining here, observing, unfurling. And then as you're ready, I'll invite you to push your way back up into rock pose this time. So sitting on the heels. And again, if this is not comfortable for you, this is part of the pose. Being on your knees, actually, coming up onto your knees is part of this next pose. If being on your knees at all is not comfortable for you, I'm going to be showing modifications for this one after I show the full expression. Okay, so this next pose is called camel pose. It's even more challenging than bow pose, as far as I'm concerned. You need to be very careful again of the lower back. It can either be done with the feet flat on the ground, the fronts of the feet flat on the ground as I'm doing here, or with the toes up. Many people find it more accessible to do it with the toes up, because what we're doing essentially is reaching back to grab the heels, and the heels are that much higher when we do it this way. Personally, I find that this hurts my feet, so I'm going to show you the other way. So the idea here with camel pose is to activate the muscles in the thighs and in the abs so that we're holding ourselves up as we lean back just a little, like so. And then very slowly, if you're comfortable, and only if you're comfortable, reach back, grab one heel, and then reach back to grab the other. And then this is camel pose, essentially. And to come out of it, you're going to want to reach forward with one hand first and slowly bring the other. A lot is going on here with the muscles in the thighs and the abs to support you, to hold you up, to bring you forward. Now, if this is too much, and if it is, I don't blame you. One alternative is to do what we did just to come into that pose, which is to remain kneeling, keep the hands on the lower back for support, and just lean back slightly. And you're going to want to be careful of your neck here if you're doing that. So one good way to make sure you're not letting your neck drop too far back is to place your fingers like an L here when you're kneeling normally. And then as you lean back, you want to keep the same distance between your neck and your head. It might take some experimenting. Alternatively, if this is painful for your knees, another way to do it is to just do it standing. Slight backward bend while standing. Again, being careful not to drop the neck too far back. And as a last alternative, because I recognize that even these modifications may be painful for people with neck issues, in my opinion, bridge pose is a great alternative to this that offers a similar opening of the back, the chest, while supporting the neck a lot more. So for a bridge pose, if you're going to do that instead, I'll invite you to come onto your back, bring your heels up close to your butt, bring your arms out by your side, and inhale very slowly as you come up, vertebrae by vertebrae, up to the top, leading with your hips. And then the challenge for this pose will be to hold it here, much as we're holding the other one. Okay. No matter which pose you've chosen now, we're going to begin. And we're going to be doing lion's breath for the entire time in this pose. We're only here for a minute though, so not to worry. So whichever pose you've chosen, whichever alternative, let's begin now. We're doing lion's breath out, in and out through the mouth with the tongue as far out as possible. You've got this, you're doing great. And if at any point you need to come out of the pose you've chosen, do so very slowly and carefully. If you've chosen to do the full camel pose, especially, you want to come out very slowly and carefully, one hand at a time as I showed you. You're doing a fantastic job. This is a really, as bow pose was actually really great for massaging the organs and invigorating the organs and opening up the chest and opening up the breathing capacity. This pose is similarly great, actually, for opening up the chest and the breathing capacity. I thought I had more to say than that, but apparently I didn't. But for me, these poses are just fantastic especially for the chest opening. I'm someone who has a very, very tight chest and diaphragm, and it can sometimes cause constriction or even pain in these muscles. So these are really, really fantastic for that. We're always leaning forward in this life. So this leaning back is so good for the body when you're able to do it in a safe and guarded and guided way, rather. Okay, as you're ready now, inhale deeply through the nose, hold the breath, and then exhale out. And slowly but surely come out of whatever position you're in. And if you're laying down, come back up to a seated position by coming onto your side and pushing yourself up. If you're in camel, come to sit on your heels and then come back to easy pose in cross-leg position. The next pose we're going to do, well, I should have said if you're in camel, stay on your knees after. Anyhow, no one's perfect every day. So the next pose we're going to do is called frog pose. It's definitely a Kundalini yoga classic. Going to invite you to come into a squatting position now. We're bringing the heels close together and the toes are splayed out somewhat. The arms are between the legs. The fingers are about a foot in front of you on the ground. And your spine is as straight as you can keep it in this position. And your face is facing forward. You're looking straight ahead. This is the exhale position. We're breathing through the nose for this exercise. And the inhale position, we're going to come up, bringing our nose towards our knees. And then exhale back down, looking straight ahead, keeping the spine straight. That's 1. We're going to try and do 26 here today. So inhale, nose to knees. Exhale, back down to a squat with straight spine. Moving at your own pace now. Let's do 26. I'll leave a couple of minutes for us to accomplish that. If you can't do 26, try to do 15. Do your best. And if frog pose is not available to you today, another alternative is bringing a block or 2 blocks so that you're not having to reach all the way down. Or you could take a wall and just squat down a little while holding the wall. Find something that works for you. Keep going. Just another minute now to do however many frog poses you can muster. This is a fantastic pose for drumming up energy, stimulating energy in the 3 lower chakras. The chakras associated with illumination, creativity, willpower, sexuality. And what it does is it moves that energy from those lower chakras up to the higher centers, starting with the heart center, giving us a deeper connection between our desire, let's say, our all those things that drive us in the day-to-day, and our heart, our compassion, our sense of self-love and of love. Keep going, you're almost there. You've got this. You're doing great. Inhaling as you bring your nose to your knees, or as close as they'll go anyway, and exhaling back down to a squat with a straight spine. Let's do 3 more wherever we are. And once you've finished those last 3, we're going to come on to our heels again, into rock pose. Now the next pose we're going to do is called celibate pose. And it involves pushing your heels to the side so that your butt touches the ground, you're sitting on the ground, and also opening your knees as wide as they'll comfortably go. Now, I'm not sure about you, but for me, this has never been comfortable for my knees or my hips. So what I recommend, if that's the case for you, is to use a block as a little stool here. It works really well. So this is a really good modification for celibate pose. And the idea here is to interlace our hands behind our back. So we're holding the hands interlaced behind the back, and rather than let them, I'll turn to the side actually. So we're interlacing the hands behind the back, and rather than let them just fall onto the back here, lift them away from the body slightly. And now we're going to lower down toward bringing our torso towards the floor, as far as it will comfortably go. And as we come back up, we're weaving back and forth like a snake, moving our shoulders from side to side. The breath should self-regulate here. So you don't really need to pay attention too much to controlling your breath. Okay? So you might find that you inhale naturally as you move down. And as we weave, coming back up, the exhale might work beautifully for that. So keep going at your own pace now. Inhaling down, perhaps, and then exhaling as you move the shoulders from side to side, slithering up. At your own pace, we're here for just a minute. Well, less than a minute now. This is a great exercise for moving energy up the spine, up towards our brain, our mind, our head center, all the stuff that goes on there. It's important to be able to release energy into that area. You're doing great. We're almost there. Next time you're back up, inhale deeply, hold the breath, and exhale, release while releasing the hands at the same time. And bring them back onto your knees. For this next pose, we're going to remove a block if you have one and come onto your back, tucking your knees into your chest and holding them, or clasping your hands around your shins to hold them there. This next pose is called tuck and bounce, and ancient yogis used to use this move to eliminate sexual imbalances. Now, I personally have not mastered this move. It involves bouncing yourself up and down on the floor, essentially. And the closest I can get is something like this. Now, you can do something like that if you like. You can lay there and visualize yourself with your eyes closed. Visualize yourself bouncing up and down on the ground. Many studies to show the power of visualization in the body. Or you can actually subtly vibrate, very subtle vibration of the entire body, if you like. Choice is up to you. Alternatively, I'll also offer a few stretches in this pose and a little massage move that you can do as well. So you can take your pick from what I already offered, or we can, while continuing to hug the knees in, we can rock back and forth left to right here, giving the lower back a little bit of a massage, which might feel good after all the backward bending. So I invite you to do that. We're here for 2 minutes in this pose, more like a minute and a half now. And then we can also bring our hands to our knees and make circles, stretching and massaging this way as well. And then switching directions and going in the other direction. Okay. Now, as you're ready, we're going to come back up to seated. You can either come onto your side into a fetal position and push yourself up slowly, or you can rock back up along your spine. This might feel very good, but you have to let the momentum move you and not force yourself, jerk yourself around too much. So you can either leave your hands on your shins here or bring your hands to your thighs and then rock. Okay. Okay, great job, everyone. Now, you might want to grab your blanket again. Hike yourself up on that. There's an inbuilt meditation in today's practice called power breath. And so, whereas many Kundalini yoga practices involve relaxation followed by a meditation at the end of the practice, today's practice is going to have this inbuilt meditation first, and then we're going to lie down and relax at the very end. And this practice calls for that. It calls for relaxing for a longer period at the end without having to do anything else for at least a few minutes. So for the meditation, I'm going to invite you to be in easy pose or rock pose if that's better. Your chin is slightly tucked to keep your spine straight. Your hands are on your knees. And what we're doing here is we're inhaling powerfully through the nose. And as we do so, the rib cage will lift a little bit. And as we exhale through the nose, we're doing so in such a way that we hear the mantra har, Now, you may have done other Kundalini yoga practices with the mantra Har, which means the infinite one, or the creative power of infinity, or you may not have. But the idea here is to exhale through the nose in such a way that you're almost making that sound. So you might feel it a little bit in your throat when you exhale. So let's try it again with that in mind. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling. You might hear the difference in my breath. Inhaling. As you exhale, push your navel in just a little bit so you feel the full force between your navel and your nostrils. Let's try it again now with that in mind. Okay, we're here now for 3 minutes with this breath, this power breath. Eyes are closed. You can focus at your third eye point if that helps to have a little focus. And let's begin. You may feel a cooling energy begin to pervade your entire body. You may feel your intestines start to make happy gurgling noises. Continue at your own pace. As you're ready now, inhale deeply through the nose and hold the breath in. And exhale. Slowly and deeply. You may observe here for a moment now anything that may have arisen for you during that breath work, during that meditation. And as you're ready now, I'm going to invite you to come ease your way down onto your back. All the way onto your back. If you need to roll up a blanket and place it under your knees or use a bolster, please do so. Let everything go now. Feel your body sinking towards the floor. Let your hands fall away from the sides of your body. Let your feet fall out Relax all tension. Relax the soles of your feet. Relax the front of your legs. Relax the back of your legs. Relax your hips, your buttocks. Relax all the muscles of your stomach. Relax your spine and the muscles of your back. Relax your chest muscles all the way across. Relax your arms from your shoulders all the way to the tips of your fingers. Relax your neck and your throat. Relax your jaw, your lips, your tongue. Relax all the muscles of your face, your forehead. Relax. Relax all the hair on your head. Relax all the hair on your body. Relax. Relax. As you're ready now, begin to move your fingers and your toes, rubbing them together. Begin to make circles with your ankles and your wrists. You might stretch high up overhead with your arms. Bring the palms of your feet and the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet together now, rubbing them together all at once to activate your nerve endings. Yeah. Let the feet fall back down. Let the legs stretch back out and continue to rub your palms together double time now. Fast, fast, fast. And once you've built up some warmth, you might place your palms over your eyes or hover them over your eyes, warming and relaxing the optic nerve. The optic nerve is the nerve in our body that's closest to the surface. And so it's a great entry point for relaxing and for warming I'll invite you now to bring one leg up towards your chest and bring it over to the opposite side of your body while at the same time bringing your hands out in a T. And turn your head away from whichever side your leg is on. So you get a nice twist here, also known as a cat stretch. Take one deep inhale here. And as you're ready, switch to the other side. So bringing whatever knee you didn't bring in before in this time. Bringing it across your body and arms out in a T again now. Turning your head to the opposite side. Take a deep breath here now. Come back to center. And as you're ready, come onto your side and push yourself back up to sitting. Great job. Okay. As you're ready now, we're going to close today's practice. In Kundalini Yoga, we close each practice with the mantra Sat Nam, which means I am truth, or truth is my name, truth is my identity, truth is my essence. Or we might feel it more as I align with my inner truth, with the authenticity of who I truly am. All of the above. So let's rub our palms together now. Bringing the thumbs to the sternum, tucking the chin slightly to sit up straight. Now, inhaling deeply now as we move that light, that white light up from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. And on the third inhale now, we're going to chant one long Sat, short Nam. And we're going to do it 3 times. So 3 in total. Let's inhale now. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Bring your thumbs up to your third eye point now, between your eyebrows and slightly above. And I invite you to bow in reverence to your practice. If it's accessible to you, you might also bring your palms and your forehead down to the ground. You can remain there as long as you'd like. And as you're ready, rise back up. Sat Nam, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for this practice. I hope it was beneficial to you. One love.